Public Interest South Africa has formally raised its objections to Parliament around Communications Minister Solly Malatsi's recent gazette, wherein he's proposed that the ICT regulator ICASA be able to lower the regulatory hurdles to investment, particularly of multinational companies in reliable broadband and internet access ventures when it comes to the application of the BBEE rules. Instead of giving a 30% stake to black partners, the minister is proposing so-called equity equivalent investment programs, investing in the socio-economic development of black communities instead, for example. Well, to elaborate further on their misgivings, I'm joined by Tebogo Khaas. He's the chairperson at Public Interest South Africa. Thank you very much, Tebogo, for joining us. So I understand that PISA, if I can call you that, is raising an objection to Parliament around the possibility of an entity like Starlink being exempted from the BBEE regulations. What are the reservations that you have exactly?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Chief amongst that, it is just the optics and the process, whether due process has been followed and whether a special dispensation is just being created just to suit a particular individual or entity. And we're raising our antennas in the sense that we do not want to find ourselves in a situation where a different set of rules are created outside what is available, just out of convenience, because we are pressured to actually assuage or to certain political actors, including here, whether it's Elon Musk or President Trump. Because if we are going to live to the idea that we are governed by a rule of law as a constitutional democracy, we have to ensure that we expect everybody else to live by the existing rules.
Yeah.
And we are certainly not against.
I did put it, Tebogo, I did put it to the minister, Minister Malatsi, last week, that it looked as though, the timing of the introduction of this gazette, which was basically a day or so after President Ramaphosa had met with Donald Trump and Elon Musk, suggested what you have alluded to. And he said that that wasn't the case. He said that this project or paper was in the workings from last year, and it just happened to be a coincidence. And I did see that on another platform where you were speaking, you indicated that you were worried that the communications minister had overstepped in his role by bringing this gazette forward. Just expand on that.
Yeah, we also have to accept that legally, according to our laws, the issue of equity equivalence programs, investment programs, resides within the ambit of the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, that is Minister Pakstow. So at best, the ministry can make a recommendation. But to the extent that trade and industry has been involved with negotiations with the US, and we know, we are not blind. Everybody saw Mr. Musk in that meeting. He didn't say anything. Now we understand why he didn't say anything in the Oval Office, because if rumors are to be believed now, it means that he knew, or at least they knew as Starlink, even ahead of the president, that we will make an accommodation to suit Mr. Musk. And any idea that is not the case, or it was not done to appease Mr. Musk and President Trump after that meeting, after the engagement, it is really neither here nor there, because the fact of the matter is that this happened immediately. We know Mr. Rupert, when he went to the Oval Office, he announced, he does not maybe Starlink will be, maybe, in the event Starlink, Viasat or Geosat or somebody else would be. He specifically mentioned an anointed Starlink. So it might very well be that as Mr. Malatsi protests that he has never met Mr. Rupert, nobody's saying that he's met Mr. Rupert, but the fact of the matter is this is a dispensation that is specifically and uniquely crafted to actually suit the business interests of Elon Musk and Starlink. And what actually is very baffling is the fact that this is inspired the fact that Starlink shunned consultative conference or meeting that was arranged by the Independent Communication Authority of South Africa in early February this year, where at the 11th hour, Starlink decided not to participate in that process. You ask yourself, if you really are keen to make sure that you make your views known, you make your position stated and accommodated through legislation, why do you then abandon a process that was kickstarted by ICASA?
Yeah.
Why do you shun it? Why do you show the middle finger?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think you're making it clear that what the issue that you have is the idea of possible preferential treatment. But of course, some voices are saying that there does need to be a shake-up in the regulatory space in order to make the ICT space more attractive for investment, because the guys who play in this place have to expend billions of rand in order to make it conducive for business and for us as consumers to enjoy the benefits of what they have to offer. And so you've got this equity equivalent that the minister is talking about, which he says is something that is actually provided for in the BBBEE codes of good practice. In principle, do you agree with that could be an alternative rather than necessarily giving 30% to black partners? Or it's really just about ensuring that whatever policy there is, everybody should be able to access whatever benefit?
Yeah, by all means, Nonku, you know what, we accept the fact that equity equivalent programs have been in existence for as long as BEE has been in place. Well, maybe not so much as long as, but it has been around for quite some time. But you must remember, they just does not apply across the board because there are subsectors within the ICT environment. You've got the broadcasting environment that regulates the SABC and some of your competitors in that space. And there are a set of rules that manage ownership and other aspect of the elements of the empowerment insofar as that space is concerned. Now we've got the telcos that also have got a very different, unique flavor of expectations for compliance, for BEE compliances that are crafted to meet the unique needs and circumstances of that sector. Now, if we are going, and we are not saying don't introduce equity equivalent in the ICT subsector, but you have to follow process. You have to make sure that if you want to encourage foreign investment, direct investment, it has to be done not in a haphazard way. Yeah. And also, we have to make sure that you understand what is the end game. Is the end game to whatever regulations that we put in place as part of the licensing condition, are they going to advance the end goal? And then that said, then you are able to say, yes, new licenses, if you come into this subsector, and these are the rules that we like to play with, and if it's equity equivalent, this is how we're going to measure them and make sure that we get a return on investment as a country. Because in the past, we've had equity equivalence by way of the arms deal where we had offsets, but today we've got nothing to show about the equity equivalence from the arms deal contracts, for example.
Yeah, no, Mr. Khaas, thank you so much. I think we get the picture, and it will be interesting to hear what your exchanges are with the parliamentary committees on that. Thank you so much. That was Tebogo Khaas. He is the chairperson at Public Interest South Africa.